Today I invite you to embrace the profound truth God and I are one. This is not a mere idea, but the living, breathing foundation of our existence. What we call God is not something distant, nor a power outside of ourselves. It is the very essence of who we are. The key to unlocking this truth lies in our imagination. Our imagination is the creative force that molds and shapes reality. Just as a painter brings to life a masterpiece from a blank canvas, so too do we create our world through the thoughts and images we hold in our minds. This is the power of God within us. When you imagine, you are not simply daydreaming, you are wielding the divine power to manifest. The separation between you and God is an illusion. The spark of divinity lies within you, and it is through conscious awareness that you realize your unity with the infinite. You and God are one inseparable. When you understand this, you awaken to your true potential. You cease to look outside yourself for answers and begin to recognize that every experience is a reflection of the divine within. To embody this truth, you must live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Whatever you desire, see it as already done. Feel it, breathe it, and allow that feeling to saturate your being. You do not need to struggle or force things to happen. As you dwell in the state of your desire already realized, the world around you will rearrange itself to reflect that state. This is the divine law of creation. Faith in the unseen is crucial. What you see with your physical eyes is but a shadow of the reality you are creating within. Do not be swayed by circumstances, for they are only the result of past thoughts. Instead, place your faith in the vision that lies within you. Know that what you imagine when held with conviction must come to pass. This is your power as one with God. Your self-concept is the foundation of your world. If you see yourself as lacking or unworthy, your reality will reflect that. But when you know yourself as one with the divine, abundant, and capable of creating all that you desire, life will mirror that knowing. Change how you see yourself, and your world must change in kind. Finally, recognize the power of assumption. Assume the best. Assume the best. Assume that you are already the person you wish to be, that your dreams are already fulfilled. Persist in this assumption and watch as it transforms your reality. The external world is but a reflection of your inner state. When you align your inner vision with the truth of your divine nature, the outer world must conform to that vision. God and I are one. This is the truth that will set you free. You are the creator of your world, and within you lies all the power you will ever need. Embrace this truth, live from it, and you will discover that there are no limits to what you can create. Imagination is the divine faculty that enables us to shape and mold our reality. It is not a passive tool, or a fleeting mental exercise rather. It is the core of creation itself. Everything that exists in the physical world was once imagined, first conceived as a thought before it became a tangible form. Whether we are conscious of it or not, we are constantly using this power to shape our experiences. The difference between those who live in alignment with this creative force and those who do not lies in the awareness of its existence and its deliberate use. When we speak of imagination, we are not merely referring to whimsical daydreams or fantasies disconnected from reality. True imagination is an active force, the very expression of divine power within us. It is through this faculty that we manifest the desires, experiences, and circumstances that unfold in our lives. Every great achievement, every innovation, every profound shift in the course of human history began as an image in the mind of an individual who dared to believe in its possibility. Imagination transcends the limits of what we perceive with our senses. While the physical senses may inform us about what is already manifested, imagination reaches beyond the seen to grasp the infinite potential of what can be. It allows us to move beyond the constraints of our current circumstances and envision realities that may seem impossible. This is the creative power that belongs to each of us as expressions of the divine. The moment we vividly imagine something, we begin the process of bringing it into being. It is not a separate power from God, it is God expressing through us. As we form mental images of the life we desire, of the person we wish to become, or the experiences we seek, we are engaging in the very act of creation itself. The clearer and more detailed the image we hold in our mind, the stronger the magnetic pull it exerts on reality. Imagination calls forth unseen forces to bring about the conditions necessary for its realization. When we use it consciously, we are able to transcend the limitations imposed by past experiences, circumstances, or even societal expectations. We are no longer bound by what is, but empowered to create what can be. It is through imagination that we recognize our ability to alter the course of our lives. With every image we hold in our minds, we are setting the blueprint for future events. This creative power does not rely on external validation or evidence. In fact, the more we cultivate our imagination, the less we depend on what we see in the material world to define our possibilities. The world is a reflection of past imaginings. By recognizing this, we liberate ourselves from the need to react to what currently exists and instead use our imagination to shape what is to come. The concept of oneness with the divine invites us to consider the profound truth that there is no separation between the individual and the source of all creation. We often think of God or the divine as something external, a force or entity that exists apart from us. Yet, at the deepest level of understanding, this idea of separation is an illusion. The divine essence, or what we refer to as God, is not something we need to reach for or petition from a distance. It is the very core of our being, woven into the fabric of our existence. To say God and I are one is to affirm that the power, wisdom, and creative force we attribute to God also reside within us. Oneness with the divine is about recognizing that we are expressions of this infinite intelligence, not creations apart from it. Just as a wave is not separate from the ocean, but an expression of the ocean's movement, so too are we expressions of the divine. The very life force that sustains us, that moves us, that allows us to think, create, and experience, is the same force that governs the universe. It is present within every thought we think, every breath we take, and every action we perform. In essence, our true nature is divine. This oneness implies that we are not subject to the limitations we may have been conditioned to believe. As expressions of the divine, we have access to the same creative power that brought the universe into existence. This means that we are not victims of circumstance or limited by the boundaries of the physical world, but rather creators capable of shaping our reality in alignment with our highest desires. When we understand our oneness with the divine, we begin to move through life with a sense of empowerment and purpose, knowing that the same power that creates worlds is working through us. It is through our awareness that we come to know our true relationship with the divine. Most people move through life by identifying solely with the body and mind, forgetting the deeper spiritual reality from which they arise. They see themselves as separate individuals, disconnected from the source of their being. But as we awaken to our true nature, we realize that we are not limited to a finite body or the fleeting thoughts of the mind. We are infinite, boundless beings, and our consciousness is the doorway to that infinite power. To experience oneness with the divine is to live from a place of unity, where the ego-driven sense of self dissolves, and we step into the realization that we are both the creator and the created. Every thought, emotion, and experience is an expression of the divine unfolding within us. When we align with this truth, we begin to see the world through new eyes. We recognize the interconnectedness of all life, and see ourselves reflected in every person, every object, and every experience. In this state of awareness, we no longer feel separate from the world or powerless to change it. Instead, we embrace the knowing that we are intimately connected to the creative force that animates all things. It shifts how we perceive not only ourselves, but also our relationship with the world around us. When we realize that we are one with the divine, We naturally begin to align our thoughts, words, and actions with higher principles such as love, compassion, and peace. We no longer act from a place of fear, competition, or lack because we understand that we are connected to an infinite source of abundance and creativity. We trust in the flow of life, knowing that everything is unfolding according to a higher plan, a plan that we are co-creators of. This is the essence of divine oneness, the recognition that we are both the individual wave and the vast ocean, simultaneously experiencing and creating life as we go. Living in the feeling of the wish fulfilled is a fundamental principle of creation and manifestation. It is a process by which we bring our desires into reality by embodying the emotional and mental state of already having what we desire, even before it physically manifests. This idea is rooted in the understanding that the mind and emotions are creative forces that shape our experience of life. To live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled is to become the person you would be if your desire were already a reality. It is not about waiting for conditions to change before you feel a certain way, but rather assuming that state of being in the present moment. It often feels distant or out of reach. We tend to think that we must wait for external conditions to align before we can feel the satisfaction, joy, or peace we associate with that desire. However, the act of living in the feeling of the wish fulfilled flips this dynamic. It suggests that by consciously adopting the emotional state that would accompany the realization of our wish, we bring ourselves into vibrational harmony with that reality. This alignment creates a powerful magnetic pull that draws the desired outcome into our experience. We must first vividly imagine the desired outcome as if it has already occurred. This involves creating a detailed mental picture of what your life would look like if your wish were filled. See yourself living in the circumstances you desire, interacting with others in the way you would if your wish had come true. But most importantly, feel the emotions that you would feel in that situation. Whether it's joy, gratitude, peace, or confidence, allow those feelings to flood your consciousness as if the wish is already a fact. This process works because the subconscious mind does not distinguish between real and imagined experiences. It responds to the emotions and images that are impressed upon it, regardless of whether they are tied to current reality or a future possibility. By consistently living in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are essentially programming your subconscious mind to accept your desired outcome as an inevitable reality. Once this belief takes root, it begins to orchestrate events, circumstances, and opportunities that align with the fulfillment of your desire. You do not need to worry about the specific details of how your wish will come to pass. Your job is to maintain the emotional state of already having it. This involves letting go of doubts, fears, and impatience, trusting that the universe will bring about the perfect conditions for the manifestation of your desire. The timing and manner in which it unfolds may not be exactly as you expect, but by living in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you remain open and receptive to the many ways in which your desire can come into your life. While it may be easy to briefly imagine and feel your wish fulfilled, sustaining that feeling over time requires discipline and focus. The mind will naturally drift back to the present circumstances, especially if they seem contrary to your desire. However, by continually returning to the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even in the face of obstacles or delays, you reinforce the creative power of your imagination. This persistence strengthens the belief in your subconscious mind that your wish is already a reality, and that belief is what ultimately brings it into physical manifestation. Living in the feeling of the wish fulfilled is about taking control of your internal state and using your imagination as the creative force it was designed to be. It is about recognizing that the power to manifest your desires lies within you, in the emotions you cultivate and the images you hold in your mind. When you consistently live in the feeling of already having what you desire, you align yourself with the frequency of that reality, and it must come to pass. This is the natural law of creation. The world outside will always reflect the world within. Faith in the unseen is the cornerstone of manifesting desires and creating the life we wish to experience. It is the belief in things not yet visible or tangible, trusting in the reality of the unseen forces that work beneath the surface of physical existence. While the world around us may be dominated by what we can perceive with our senses, faith transcends the limitations of the material realm. It is the understanding that everything we experience first begins as an invisible thought, idea, or feeling before it becomes part of our external reality. To have faith in the unseen is to trust the process of creation, even when there is no immediate evidence to support the fulfillment of our desires. This kind of faith is not blind optimism or wishful thinking, but a deep inner knowing that what we hold in our minds and hearts is just as real as what we can touch, see, or hear. It is the conviction that, despite appearances, the universe is working in perfect harmony to bring our desires to fruition. This belief in the unseen allows us to remain steady and grounded, even when our current circumstances suggest otherwise. The power of faith lies in its ability to sustain us through periods of uncertainty and doubt. Often when we set out to achieve something or bring about a desired change in our lives, there is a gap between the moment of decision and the moment of realization. During this gap, it can be tempting to fall back into patterns of fear, skepticism, or impatience, especially if the external world is not yet reflecting the changes we are seeking. However, faith in the unseen enables us to stay connected to our vision and trust that the outcome is inevitable, even if we cannot yet perceive the unfolding process. Faith operates on the principle that the unseen is the foundation of all that is seen. The invisible forces of thought, belief, and emotion are the building blocks of our reality. Just as a seed must first germinate in the darkness of the soil before it breaks through the ground and becomes visible, so too must our desires take root in the unseen realm before they can manifest in the physical world. Faith is the water and nourishment that allows these seeds to grow. It keeps us focused on the ultimate goal, even when the steps along the way may seem uncertain or unclear. One of the most important aspects of faith in the unseen is the understanding that reality is fluid and ever-changing. The physical world is not static. It is constantly being shaped and reshaped by the energy of our thoughts and beliefs. What we see today is simply the result of past thinking, and it can change in an instant as we shift our focus and align with new possibilities. Faith gives us the ability to look beyond the current circumstances, knowing that they are temporary and malleable. It empowers us to hold fast to our inner vision, regardless of what the outer world may present. Faith is essential for maintaining a sense of peace and certainty in the creative process. When we lack faith, we are easily swayed by external conditions, allowing them to dictate our emotions and decisions. Without faith, we may fall into the trap of reacting to life rather than consciously creating it. However, when we cultivate unwavering faith in the unseen, we become less affected by temporary setbacks or delays. We understand that these are merely part of the process, and that they do not negate the inevitability of our desired outcome. Faith also plays a critical role in helping us stay aligned with the vibration of what we seek to manifest. When we have faith, we naturally embody the feeling of already having what we desire, which is a key element in the manifestation process. This alignment with the feeling of fulfillment allows us to attract the people, opportunities, and resources that are in harmony with our desires. Without faith, we may find ourselves oscillating between doubt and hope, which creates mixed signals and delays the manifestation of our goals. Faith in the unseen is the driving force behind all creation. It allows us to operate from a place of certainty and conviction, even when our desires have not yet materialized. It reminds us that everything we seek is already present in the unseen realm, simply awaiting the right conditions to become visible. Faith enables us to bridge the gap between where we are and where we want to be, and it sustains us through the journey, knowing that the unseen forces are always at work on our behalf. Self-concept is the foundation upon which every experience in our lives is built. It is the deep-seated understanding of who we believe we are, encompassing our beliefs, perceptions, and assumptions about ourselves. This concept goes beyond surface-level thoughts or momentary ideas about ourselves. It resides in the core of our identity, shaping our reality in ways we often fail to recognize. Everything we encounter in life, whether in relationships, career, health, or personal fulfillment, is a direct reflection of how we see ourselves. In other words, the way we define and perceive ourselves determines the quality and content of our experiences. At the heart of this truth is the idea that we are constantly creating our reality through the lens of our self-concept. If we see ourselves as worthy, capable, and deserving, we naturally attract experiences that reinforce these beliefs. We take actions, make decisions, and align with opportunities that reflect our inner sense of self-worth. Conversely, if we view ourselves as lacking, unworthy, or incapable, we tend to draw experiences that validate those negative beliefs. We may unconsciously sabotage our own success, shy away from opportunities, or settle for less than we desire because our self-concept is rooted in limitation. The subconscious mind plays a crucial role in this process. Our self-concept is deeply embedded in the subconscious, where it operates automatically and continuously. Most of the time, we are not even aware of the beliefs and assumptions that shape our reality, but they guide our thoughts, behaviors, and interactions. If our self-concept is limited or negative, it becomes a filter through which we interpret everything that happens to us. Even positive circumstances may be misinterpreted or undervalued if our underlying self-concept does not align with them. Changing our self-concept is the key to transforming our experiences. Since the outer world mirrors our inner beliefs, the most effective way to alter our reality is to shift how we perceive ourselves. This begins with identifying the limiting beliefs that form the basis of our current self-concept. These beliefs are often the result of past experiences, conditioning, or repeated thoughts that we have accepted as truth. Once we become aware of these limiting beliefs, we can begin the process of replacing them with more empowering ones. It is not enough to momentarily think positive thoughts or engage in wishful thinking. True transformation happens when we consistently affirm a new, more expansive understanding of ourselves, even in the face of contrary evidence. By repeatedly affirming and imagining ourselves as the person we wish to be, we reprogram the subconscious mind to accept this new identity. Over time, this shift in self-concept will naturally lead to new experiences that reflect the elevated sense of self. Self-concept influences not only how we see ourselves, but also how others perceive and interact with us. Our relationships are a direct reflection of the way we view ourselves. If we carry a self-concept of being lovable, respected, and valued, others will treat us accordingly. However, if we believe we are undeserving of love or respect, we may find ourselves in situations where these negative beliefs are reinforced by others' behavior. Therefore, by transforming our self-concept, we also transform the dynamics of our relationships. It is fluid and adaptable. At any moment, we have the power to redefine ourselves and, in doing so, change the course of our lives. This requires a conscious decision to let go of old identities that no longer serve us and to embrace a new vision of who we are. As we do this, the outer world responds in kind, aligning with the new vibration we hold about ourselves. Self-concept is the driving force behind all manifestation. Everything we attract into our lives is a reflection of how we perceive ourselves at a deep, internal level. By consciously choosing to elevate our self-concept, we align ourselves with higher possibilities, opening the door to experiences that match the new and empowered version of ourselves. The shift in self-concept creates a ripple effect, transforming every area of life as we step into our true potential.